Hi, I'm Mario Ariave with Utmost Performance Coaching. If you're watching this video and you haven't seen part one where I talk about the utmost performance approach, my approach as a coach and what I am looking for, some 3 ideas that I throw out there when I get an athlete that wants to partner with me, then I would say go ahead and hit pause on this one and go watch part one and then come back to this video. Because what I want to do in this video is I want to talk about once we've established that we're going to be partnering together, once I go ahead and look at the things I need to look at and put a training plan together, then what is it that the athlete is going to begin to experience? What is the transformation that they will go from when they go from maybe not having a coach, being on an online training program perhaps, or maybe they've had a coach, but the coach has a little bit different of an approach that maybe I would have. And so I want to highlight, again, 3 things, keep it nice and simple, 3 things that athlete would maybe begin to notice and that we would begin to see on the coach-athlete journey. And so the first thing that I want to talk about is a lot of athletes, you guys love doing group rides. And I love allowing you to do these group rides because it allows you to see some real progress on a week-to-week basis. Group rides are great because you're riding against a lot of the same folks. You guys are doing the same courses. The rides take place at the same time. And so it really is a ride where we can look at and we can measure progress. And a lot of times we can use it kind of as a playground to maybe try some different things tactically, try some different ideas, and overall just kind of see how that training is going on a weekly basis and use it a little bit as a litmus test. So some of the things that the athlete may begin to feel and experience on this group ride is that perhaps they begin to kind of move themselves up a little bit more in that pace line when it begins to form. So on parts of the ride where maybe you were sitting in, maybe you thought to yourself, we're about to turn on such and such a road and I am going to be hanging on for dear life because that's how it always seems to go. We're getting ready to go hard up this hill or we're getting ready to sprint for this sign before we regroup. And all of a sudden you're noticing, you know what? I'm a little bit further up in the line, or maybe I am off the front. Or perhaps I'm one of the guys that begins taking this town sign or city limit sign. I'm one of the ones arriving at the gas station first when we stop to regroup. Or it could be as simple as, and this is not a defeat by any means, but you're beginning to notice that that effort begins to be more sustainable. So perhaps you're not at the pointy end of this, and that's okay, but you're noticing, you know what? I may not be at the front of this thing just yet, but I am noticing that comparatively to a couple of weeks before, this effort, it feels more manageable. I'm able to more quickly recover. That heart rate does come down faster, or whatever it is that we are looking at and that perhaps maybe we're tracking during that group ride. The second thing tied to this, because the group ride is a little bit maybe of a feel thing, I might come back to you and say, how did that group ride feel? So what are you noticing? What are you looking at? And you may say to me, overall, I feel better. I feel stronger. But now, point number 2 is, let's look at some metrics. And so this would be maybe more of something that we're seeing during training sessions. Perhaps we're doing the same training session in a cycle. And so we've got 3 weeks where we get that same workout. And then maybe we take our recovery week and then we do another 3 weeks of that same particular workout. And as we're doing that, we're noticing the progression. Perhaps power is improving. Perhaps power isn't improving, but guess what? Perhaps your ability to recover, how quickly your heart rate comes down in between those intervals is improving. Folks, let me tell you something. A lot of people don't talk about this. That is a performance gain, even though your power hasn't gone up, even though your threshold maybe hasn't gone up. If you're recovering faster between intervals, then that is a sign that you are getting stronger. So put that one in your back pocket. That's free. So tracking metrics and looking over time at, are those metrics improving? I talked in part 1 of this video about durability. So once again, just to return back to, I'm doing this workout every week, Mario, for 3 weeks, and I've noticed that the numbers are the same. But wait a minute, are we not looking for improvements in that power? Are we working on the durability side of things where, yes, you have been doing that workout 3 weeks in a row, but have you noticed that we've gone from you riding 8 hours a week and doing that particular workout to now you're riding 12 hours a week and hitting those same numbers on that same particular workout? That is a sign of improvement and a sign of increased fitness and your ability to do things to achieve your goal in events or races or Strava KOMs or whatever it happens to be. Once again, put that one in your back pocket. You've got 2 things now that I've given you for free. But wait a minute, my threshold hasn't gone up. No, but your durability has gone up. Your ability to recover has gone up. Those 2 things are going to show up when you're put into a competitive situation, like a group ride. The last thing that I want to talk about, not to make it number 3, bringing in the caboose, but probably the most important point of all of these is, are you getting better season after season after season after season? Is there improvement? In other words, no, we don't start in September and we don't end in June. We start in September of 2025 and we end in June of ... It's kind of like filling out a resume when you say, here are the jobs that I've had, and then this job I have through, and it's current. You're still working there. It's still your job. We don't know when you're going to move on to another job, if you ever move on to another job. Point number 3 here is we start our partnership and we continue our partnership through ... It's current. In other words, season after season, we are stacking, we are growing, we are working on things, we are looking to improve. There is always something that we can be looking to improve and looking to get better at. In other words, we're looking at sustainability. Are you able to do maybe more work that next season? We look at the total number of hours you rode in a year and it went up for the following year. That's a good thing. Or is it the same number of hours, but you're able to do more intensity sessions per week, or a larger number of intervals, or whatever that particular thing happens to be? Folks, I'm going to share a personal something with you here. At the ripe age of 46 and having been an endurance athlete now for what's going on over 20 years, can I tell you that next season I am looking at improving some things. I'm not done. There are things that I know I can get better at, and those things can be power-related things. Those things can be speed-related things. Those things can be aerodynamic position on the bike. There's always something, and I didn't personally get here on year 20 whatever of my journey if I didn't take care of building from year 10 to 11. Building from year 5 to 6 to 7, building from year 19 to 21. It all had a purpose and it all fit, and they're all links in a chain. They're all pieces in a puzzle that work together. So this very last point is, this thing is not, your journey is not compartmentalized to this particular fiscal year or season. We're zooming out and saying, be patient with me. Let's work together. Trust me when I tell you that this all works together. And I've got athletes that are going into off season right now, and that's the message that I am sending them. This off season, you're going to notice that the load and the capacity that you have to do work the following season, we're starting from a higher point than we started the season before that. And if we've done this thing correctly, and if we've trained properly, and if we've, like I said in part 1 of the video, if we've done this minimum effective dose properly, then we're gonna see that all of a sudden that work, that capacity for work, that durability, that engine size, it's better. Part 1 video again, engine size, durability, go watch it. We're able to do that better the following year than we did the previous year. So those are the 3 things that we're looking at. So we're measuring some intangibles, maybe some things that are kind of a little bit cloudy that we have a feeling on. We're measuring that via the group ride. That's part of the transformation that could happen for you. The second thing is we're looking at raw data, we're looking at numbers, we're looking at metrics, and we've quantified those, and we're looking at how those are playing out. But then the last thing that we're looking at is we're taking both of those and we're saying, all right, when we're looking at one season to the next, when we're looking at 1 year to the next, are we seeing some sustainability there? Are we seeing an increase? Are we seeing an improvement in your durability, in your engine size? And therefore, are we seeing a better athlete before us the next year than we did the previous year? And so those three things, that's the transformation that I am looking to hopefully partner with and go through with you as we go about your journey. If you have any questions over this video, if there's anything that I threw out there that maybe you're like, I'd like him to expand a little bit more about that point, or I have a question about that, then please feel free to ask. Go ahead and browse the rest of the content we've got. There's some good stuff in there, but don't worry, there's more where this came from. So if you guys would like to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss anything else that comes out, then please do so. And if you have anybody else that you feel would be interested in this, maybe you don't want to share this with them because they're a rival and you don't want them to start beating you, but maybe do the neighborly thing and help them out, because a rising tide raises all ships. So if they get better on your group ride, then that's going to be a catalyst to make you better on your group ride. Then go ahead and share that with them. All right, folks, that's what I've got for you today. Until next time.